Meet Dental Donna from Paradise Dental, who on this day offers free x-rays and consultations.
There's a story behind why we're here.
Okay.
And in the States, we would go to 3 to 5 booth events every single week.
Wow.
And that's how we built our dental practices, was behind a booth, out in the community. And so when I first heard back in June that the Marianas Business Network was getting started, I wasn't going to miss that because we did a lot of that. And this is the first ever trade show in the CNI that's like this. And I was the very first one that signed up.
Dee Parker of the Cookie Shop on Beach Road in Chalon-Canoa.
So we're a small business that started as a bake sale, and we ventured into a brick and mortar.
So there's a big shop right there.
Yes.
On Beach Road.
Yes.
Beautiful. And you go around, you supply people? Is that?
Yes, we also supply 11 different supermarkets, a coffee stop, and a snack bar.
The Cookie Shop has been open for a year and a half now. Ms. Parker appreciates what it takes to create, maintain, and grow a business.
This event is amazing. It's bringing together the small part of our island.
you use each other. You know, I might know 5 lawyers, but I know this one a lot more closer because I'm constantly, you know, meeting with them every week, having lunch, maybe a mixer, whatever, right? So the whole point of these networking groups is for us small businesses to come together and kind of hold on to each other to kind of get through everything, and not just now, but even long term, right?
Yeah, 'cause people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust, and that's how you do it. That's the fastest way to do it. I mean, I'm a big proponent of, you know, being involved in every group in the community, but I'll give the example of the chamber back in Colorado Springs. There was 200 people every month, but it was a different 200 people every month. It took forever to really get to know people, right? Versus a networking group that's meeting on a more regular basis.
And you did like some demos too, right, during the trade show?
Yes, we did.
You had like
couple
Lorenzo
different
doing
trainers.
some like, what do you call it, Jane Fonda kind of moves?
Jane Fonda.
Right?
Mobility
Lorenzo,
mostly.
you're watching.
No, he did a good job. It was just explaining, you know, mobility, right? So one of the classes he teaches kind of works with that, and some have great mobility, some do not at all. And he kind of worked with showing how you can start from basic movements to work your way up to eventually, you know, becoming a lot more mobile.
And also, Marissa, could you hand us one of these bags?
Sure.
So, Derek,
Which
can you
ones?
please tell us what you have in your shop, basically your shop, your garage?
Yeah, what are you
Yeah.
selling there besides?
So we have a smoothie bar, and we sell a lot more than just smoothies.
Is
One
that
of the
open to the
products.
public or just your members?
This one's public.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Taco, there's different flavors, but you know.
And the
know what you
smoothie
guys
bar
want,
is open
sour cream.
during regular staff hours, which is from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. weekdays, and 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturdays.
Okay.
No staff on Sunday, unfortunately, but so yeah, we have this is one of the products that we sell. It's Quest protein chips. I don't think anywhere else on island sells them. I've never seen them on island. They are very delicious, but they're higher protein than your typical
Get better
chip,
ingredients.
right?
So, only 5 grams of carbohydrates in this.
Lower
That's
fat,
huge.
lower,
Barbecue
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the primary source of protein is mostly a whey or in casein protein. But then, you know, they use flavors to really bring it out. So, like, you know, really locally here, the lemon powder is very popular, right?
Oh,
So you definitely taste it in this lemon lime one.
I don't know. Can I
But yeah,
try the sour
absolutely. Take
cream?
them, open them
Oh,
up.
you'll
Yeah,
love them.
try
They're
them.
good. Make sure you have something to drink, though.
It basically is kind of like a Dorito. If you show the chip, it's kind of like a triangle Dorito, pretty much. But the flavors, there's like, I think there's 10 different flavors we sell ultimately.
Ooh, and it looks like
Do you sell those ghost drinks as well?
We do, and that's a Marpac product,
That sounds good.
and
Okay.
we're one of their
I
main distributors. So we do a lot with them.
And Derek's talking about probably
Okay.
my favorite part of any trade show is that we all think everyone knows where we are, who we are, what we do, what we're looking for as clients.
Maria
But
would
we
like
don't.
this.
I mean, I didn't know you did any of that stuff, right? I didn't know you were until last month that you do parties as what you'd like to do more of. I had no idea. So for the public to get out and see what business, I didn't know the cookie lady was there.
So I think that's part of what goes back to like the trade show.
Yeah.
When you have 30 plus businesses there doing their own thing,
Yeah.
and everybody learns about us, then we have 30 more avenues of people that are saying, "Hey, check out Travis.
Right.
Check
Oh, I
out
need a
Donna,
place for
check
my
out-"
Christmas party. Oh, you gotta
Yeah.
go, you gotta go,
Yeah.
all these people.
And before that, we all had the same businesses. We all did the same thing, but none of us knew what each other did, other than dental, gym, bar.
Yeah.
An occasion.
And then
An
okay.
occasion, right?
And then her.
PG.
And then the Marissa, you know. But so I thought the one best part of the trade show is that we got these surveys back from all the vendors, and we got 5s across the board, which was
Wow.
That's good.
very
For the
heartwarming.
first time.
Yeah, we had high scores. We had really great comments.
You know, I want to point out. So that was like my first trade show as a vendor, right? I've been to many in the past as a consumer, and I haven't been to like small town ones like this, but bigger ones like you know in China
Yeah.
and like the Vegas and like huge ones, right? Now those are big, so I didn't really know what to expect. I had no idea how to do a booth. We do small booth events for the gym with like NMC, and you know, and we're invited to these things often. I never really put any thought into creating the booth. So I want to say that Donna's training for this, for all the
Oh yes,
for all the businesses side of
Yes.
it, was night and day. Like
Oh, I'm so glad
our
to hear
booth
that.
was definitely extra,
I heard,
but you didn't miss us.
Yeah, Donna, we heard from the vendors that they got so much value from your training, which was
That's awesome.
amazing to hear. I think the feedback was excellent, and it makes me want for you to be doing the trainings again next year.
Yeah, and all that was I had been taught that in the States. We worked for a big dental corporation in the States that had a massive marketing operation, and they taught us how. But really, marketing is about failing 500 times until you find what works. That's all it is, really.
Right.
So I was hoping that I could help shorten everybody's learning curve with the booth. But here's, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. My belief system for a business owner to understand is everyone's favorite radio station. Everyone's favorite radio station, ours and your clients, are WIIFM. What's in it for me? Right? So what was in it for me to do that class was I needed all of you to walk away and say, I want to do this again. Because I know it works, right? I've been doing it for years. But I knew if you walked away and said, oh, I didn't get anything out of that it would die. So that's why I did it. I did it, and it got the rust off of me too, because I hadn't done it since COVID, before COVID, right? I hadn't been anywhere. So every time I taught that class, I was like, oh yeah, I got to remember that for me too. So yeah, it was a great experience.
I wonder where NMI News Service was that day.
Oh yeah, we were wondering
caught
about
up
We
with,
were about that one.
I'm quite sure he was working.
Yeah, sure.
That's a great time for a commercial break. We are at that time for a real quick commercial break, by the way.
Commercial break.
I was wondering if I was going to be missed. Thanks for validating me. All right, we'll be right back with more Sip Happens right after this.
Hey, I'm Coach Derek Cutting, the owner and founder of Laddie Built Fitness. So no matter who you talk to here at Laddie Built, everyone feels that they are part of a family, part of a group of like-minded people. No one feels judged. No one feels like they're being teased or picked on or looked down upon because maybe they don't know what they're doing. They could be brand new and have no idea what they're doing. They might be overweight or really skinny and feel very self-conscious about themselves. But at Laddie Built, nobody judges here. And if you ask anybody here that might be in better shape than you or even not, but has experience in the gym, they will gladly help you through a workout and teach you a few techniques that could help you. So Laddie Built organically from day one, since the boot camp era, has organically grown this fostered environment of community and being a safe place, but a strong work ethic community of people that want to get work done. All I can say is that I put my heart and soul into it from day one. I treated everyone like that at the boot camp from the very, very beginnings, and everyone at the same time would treat each other like that from the boot camp era as well. And as we grew, as we got into a brick and mortar facility, we got bigger and bigger. I feel like people definitely just take this place as a home, as like their brother and sisters are working out next to them, not their enemy or not their competitor, So organically, it's just the vibe here is different. Everyone feels very, very comfortable, and I love the fact that it happened like that.
Paradise Dental's giving you the gas. Well, not that kind of gas. You already know that Paradise Dental has the most affordable coverage in the entire Marianas, and now we've got something special just for new customers. And now for a limited time, Paradise Dental is offering free gas vouchers for new signups for their coverage plan. If you sign up for a singles plan, you'll get a $10 gas voucher. If you sign up for a couples plan, that's a $15 gas voucher. And if you sign up for the whole family plan, that's a $20 gas voucher right after your first visit. So hurry down to Paradise Dental and sign up for the CNMI's most affordable dental coverage today. These gas vouchers are limited, and with smiles like these, you know they're gonna go fast.
And we're back, right, Brad? We're back?
Yes.
Okay, I cannot see
You
front.
can't see your thumb
I
out.
can't see
You gotta do
anything.
above top.
Yeah.
Still do short.
But
Get your flag. A penalty flag.
we were. Oh my God!
It was the
okay.
left hand. It was the left hand.
All right, Elon Musk over there. Listen.
Enough of that.
Okay, listen. So we have a special guest tonight, which is she didn't want to be addressed as Representative Flores, but Representative Flores is here with us from Precinct 3, House Floor Leader. Thank you so much for joining this motley crew
Love
of
it.
business owners here.
Thank you for inviting me. I wanted to be invited the first time I saw it, which was 2 weeks ago or last week Thursday.
January 30th.
January 30th.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
It's okay.
That was, I loved it. I love
Okay,
how
sorry.
everything was just, so informal and just a conversation. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're glad you're here. One of the things that I want to discuss with you is about this zoning, the Blighted Act, that's enforcing these businesses that have what we call them look like from
Rundown.
rundown
Third world.
third world. Okay.
Hey,
third
tell it
world.
like it is,
Third
right? That's
world.
what our show's about.
Yeah, it's the third world. Looks like they came from
Yeah.
Mars,
Yeah.
whatever. Mars probably looks better.
I don't know. Ask Elon Musk. He's been there.
Let me call him. Let me see if he'll take my call.
Stupid.
This blighted issue has been a long-standing issue with the Commonwealth, and I'll use some landmarks, for example, like the La Fiesta. That's been there for many years, over 20 years. And when Jiao left during the Asia economic slump and this bust, right? This now became what it is, and was something great, and now it's a blighted structure. And then, you go around and you see a lot of these blighted buildings, and there are a lot of commercial buildings actually. Very rare do you see it as a residential area, unless you're in like the villages, right, where someone probably packed up and left. What I see and what I've come to know is that back then when they were doing a lot, and this is just what I've come to do my own research on and how I would like to effectuate change to kind of improve this process, is that when you're here and you come in as an investor, you have the rights to lease a land for 55 years.
Right.
Now, back in the 90s, there was this rush of all this investment coming in, early 80s, as the Commonwealth was starting to pick up, right? And what I found out was that during this period, they were subleasing property. So I would purchase or lease a property, and then I'd take the leasehold right for 55 years, turn around and sublease it to someone else, and then sublease it, right? And so this is the effect of that, is that we've never done a proper job at collecting the data as to who is the rightful owner now. We do know that it belongs to someone of the indigenous land. And now that zoning is coming back and saying, well, if we can't locate the individual that owns or lease the land, then we're going to now turn around and charge or penalize the owner, right? Well, that's not fair.
No.
It's not fair at all,
Not at all.
right? It's not the person's responsibility, especially the landowner, to turn around and be penalized, right, by the government. I mean, if the government can't do its job correctly and efficiently, then why are you gonna, persecute the landowner or at least put this undue hardship? I mean, the time is just wrong to begin with, right? So there's a lot of work to be done. I mean, a lot of it is going backwards to fix it so that we don't have this problem when we're gone. I mean, I say this every time in every session that I'm here on borrowed time, and whatever time I have left, I want to use it to fix so that my children, our children, don't run into the same situation. And in order for us to do that correctly and fairly, we got to go back to the initial law and then the regulations and then all this other stuff that happened in between, resolutions and all, it's just compacted. It just kept going and no one really spoke about the long-term effect of that, and so that is now what we're seeing.
Well, it definitely affects tourism, because
Absolutely.
when the tourist sees this, and that affects local businesses, right?
Right. So on the flip side, yes, I think it's a great thing to clean up these properties that have just been abandoned for so long and
Yes.
really unsafe. I mean, if
All
young
kinds of
kid
things,
or
you know.
a child walks in there or a teenager even just hanging out and it collapses. But yeah, definitely unfair to the landowner who 35, 45 years ago leased it out for probably nowhere near what it's worth now or what
Right.
it was subleased for 20 times, right?
Right.
They don't have that money sitting around still to be
Right.
able to
Right.
pay someone to do it.
Right.
So the government should foot that bill. If they want it to be cleaned up, they should be footing that bill for those that
Absolutely.
they can't find
I
the
agree
owner.
with you.
I totally agree
Yeah.
with that.
I don't
you
know that I agree with 100% of that. I agree with it to a certain extent, but at some point, this was about money. At some point, when they leased that out, this is the landowner's land, and when you rent out your stuff, when you lease out your stuff, that's still your land. It doesn't matter. They're expecting to get it back in 20 years, 30 years. If they default on the lease, landowner gets it back. If it was mine, and I'm just saying if it was mine, I had rental property in the States, I checked on my rental property all the time. All the time. It was mine, and I'm not saying by any stretch, I'm just saying my point of view is that there is some sort of liability that goes with that, albeit maybe it doesn't go 100% back to that person, but at some point, somebody made money off that initial one, and that was the reason they did it.
Well, agreed.
It was an
In-
investment.
In the beginning, of
course,
course.
yes.
But the 55-year thing is the issue, right? So it hasn't been 55 years yet. So they don't have any rights to that land right now.
That's
it's
my
completely
question.
gone.
So
So
they paid
what
for that
I think,
55 years.
what I've been
Somebody-
saying for a while now is that
How's
all
that
these
work?
properties that have been abandoned, there should be some sort of statute in all of these lease agreements legally, right? That states if the subleaser or the leaser leaves island and no longer operates out of after like 2 years, it defaults back to the landowner. That way, the landowner can
Correct.
completely clear it up, clean it up, and then release it if they wanted to, or whatever the case may be.
And you
I
do
would
have
say
those
that.
My
freedoms,
question
right? You
is-
do have the freedoms to do that. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't have access to an attorney. So when
Well,
you're
I-
talking about, land exchange and land agreements, right, especially sale of land, you need an attorney to write that up. And when you come across, I mean, I've seen this many times. I worked for legal aid before. I've worked for an associate judge at one point. And a good attorney will tell you to put those clauses in. A regular average attorney, for whatever reason, would say just, here's the money, I'll take my percentage and be on your merry way.
So every lease agreement could be different.
It could
Oh,
be
yeah, of
different.
course.
And
Yeah.
that's
But-
that's
but-
another
It's all
problem,
how they write it, right?
And
Yeah.
But we've learned things, though, over the past 30 years. So lawyers
Going forward.
30, 40 years ago probably didn't have the same exposure to what the things have popped up nowadays,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So now they're learning and they're putting in these new clauses,
Clauses
right?
in, yeah.
So those 55-year lease clauses that were written 45 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing to do with it. You're locked out of that, right? So it's just we're changing with the times. Economy is changing,
Yes.
the technology is changing,
Yes.
and with that, laws and lawyer understandings are changing.
Yeah.
So it's everything's constantly morphing.
So that also goes back to somewhat, right, Article 12.
Yes.
Because we have to lease it because we can't own it. kind of
Yes.
thing.
Right.
Yes,
And if
it's
we
catch
keep that in
22.
mind, but like I said, if we can work in some way to work with the landowner where maybe it shouldn't have to be a lawyer document, right? Where it automatically defaults back to the landowner after 2 years of no.
Could there be a law passed?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
So that way
Instead of-
lawyers don't have to be involved.
Yes.
They instantly it can be like removed from the records office that there's a leaseholder on it, and now the new owner is back to the landowner, and they can reset.
Yeah.
And part of
And will be
everybody's-
responsible to take care of it.
Yeah.
There is abandoned houses
and
or
but
buildings.
part of my thing
That's
was
a good one, yeah.
I wasn't putting anything on the homeowner,
Mm-hmm.
but it also shouldn't be defaulted. Why is the government responsible for anybody's property?
Mm-hmm.
They're not. So for anybody to say
Oh, yeah.
the government should pay, they weren't the ones that leased the land. They weren't the one. All they're doing is putting up a sign saying, "Get rid
No,
of this
it's just
shit."
because I'm saying
Yeah,
that they're the
yeah.
ones that are saying you have
You know?
to
Yeah,
get
but
rid of it now.
It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with them. They shouldn't have to pay for anything.
Agreed. But on the flip side, them saying you have to
They've
get
been
rid of
sitting
it.
there for 20 years.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I'm just saying, right? There's two sides to it.
Yeah,
Well, I
you're
mean,
right.
if that's the case, they should have done that 20 years ago. That's the thing,
Agreed.
Why are
I'm
you
not
doing it now
disagreeing.
when the
I'm just
economy's so
saying,
bad?
20 years
And
ago, it shouldn't have been the government's responsibility either. Other than
20
to
years
say,
ago,
now.
zoning should have been doing
Well,
something
it's
about
definitely
land and
not.
property
There we
to
go.
begin
There we
with,
go.
right?
There we go.
And now the legislature, they always come back to the legislature saying, well, what are you guys doing? I mean, I'll tell you, the 24th legislature, we work really hard at trying to fix a lot of these things, and a lot of these things are inherited problems,
Sure.
Right.
And a lot of not many of us, but very few of us really understand the historical knowledge behind a piece of legislation. So we're constantly reading journals, going back, why was this like this, to asking people.
Right.
And I think
And again,
that's part
things
of what
change
we're-
Yes.
every year.
That's what
And
we were talking
that's
about
that's
earlier,
the biggest
Marissa,
problem
is-
we're having, is that the laws back then were not adapting. They didn't adapt. It was just for this period.
It don't make sense to this period.
Yes. And so now we're trying to, like, okay, let's look at the big picture, right?
Right.
And we all say it. We are here on borrowed time. There's no way we're going to allow our children to inherit the same thing we inherited 20, 40 years ago. That's
Correct.
just not going to happen. Not while we're alive, and not while we're all here trying to contribute to this community, right?
And I think that's part of it, is just keeping people informed. I mean, you
Yes.
guys, zoning is doing what they're
Talking,
doing, and,
Yeah.
when zoning first put those signs up,
Absolutely.
there was never anything that came out that I saw
Yeah.
that said, I guess there was a little bit of pre-warning, but all of a sudden it was just splattered with zoning signs.
Yeah.
And to me, just an explanation of what's happening and an explanation of, here's what we're doing.
Well,
Here's
there
what
were
we're
some
looking at. We're
town
not
hall
pointing fingers, we're
Yeah.
just letting you know this is
Well,
happening.
and this is another problem that we see, right? With every election, there's a different leadership. There's a different administration.
Right.
Right, so with that is change of agenda, change of what
Focus.
have you.
What are they
Yeah,
focusing on?
Exactly, and so a lot of this is it. This is
Right.
basically 30, 40 years. I mean, the CNMI hasn't even. We're a very infant Commonwealth. You're talking what, 48 years? The United States has been the United States for 300 plus years.
And that's still kind of infant too, compared to a lot of the global
Yeah.
countries, right? Like, it's not very old.
But I'm glad that there's people like you guys, business owners, that see that and have an opinion about that, because that's really important to us, right, as legislators. But as community members, the only way we can fix the problem is if we come together and discuss stuff like
And
this.
I think this is another valid point to that,
Yeah.
is that this has been talked about for ever since I've opened the bar, right? That 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
going on 4 years in April,
Yeah.
that there's going to be this small business group
Yeah.
that is involved in the government and that has something to say.
Yeah.
And I've asked and I've repeatedly, and not to you, Marissa, I mean,
Yeah.
we've had these conversations
Of course,
before.
yeah.
But I've asked these things a million times. I said, whenever that small business group starts, I want to be part of it, because
Right.
I want to be active and I want to have my say. And I'm not chicken shit to say what I think needs to happen,
Right.
but it's never
Transpired.
So
to
nobody
anything.
invited him to the
It's-
table.
Nobody invited
Well,
you either.
there's-
Started,
So.
but like
There's
Marissa
not-
said, every time the administration
So-
changes.
Did they invite? No, of course, PK is going to say that he got invited. to
I
the
did not
table.
get invited to the table.
That's-
Why do you
that's
say
what-
that?
that's
no,
what he
I
always
did not
likes to
say,
promote.
No, I did not say that. I
That's
did not
what
say,
you always like to promote.
No, I did not say that. I said
Well-
that's why we're here at the table to have a
Yeah.
conversation about it.
Correct.
Well-
I was never invited to the table.
The night that the
You
night
make light
that the
of it, we
Business
didn't,
Network
so-
had the governor speak to us, and I brought up it really stuck with me. I brought up the story of I watch a lot of your sessions, online, and there was a group of business people that were talking to the legislature, and they were saying things, and of course we all hear all
Right.
the time.
Right.
But one of the legislators said, I mean, truly, sincerely, thank you. That was so helpful. And I'm thinking, wow, we do talk different languages.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
To keep talking.
Yeah.
Just keep talking until, like my husband says to me all the time, well, I've already told you that. I said, well, then you just tell me again
Yeah.
until I get it. Right? Right? So, same thing.
Poor Nelson.
I know,
Poor Nelson.
keep talking. Keep respectfully talking to each other, because that's the only way it's going to get
we've been
solved.
harping on the government and I started Laddie 10 years ago, and
Yeah.
it was quite a nightmare to get licensed. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. Obviously, it happened, right?
Yeah.
But it took like 7 months of
That's
all
crazy.
kinds of hula hoops, and
That's crazy.
and here's in Hawaii, when I first started my first business, it took me 3 hours to get an LLC.
Yeah.
It took me 7 months to get the LLC here, and it's gotten better. It has.
I'm sorry
nowhere
to
near
hear
where
that.
it should be yet, though, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is that exactly what you said. There's no, and I don't want to speak for everyone in the government, but there's not a whole lot of business-minded people there. And tell me what person who works in the entire business license procedure zoning section actually owns a business and has actually been through it themselves.
Yeah.
It's night and day to say this makes sense and create a law or a rule or whatever it is, right? Policy, but to actually go through it,
Yeah.
it could easily be mimicked by so many other state versions.
Yeah.
And cleaned up so quickly, and it will probably actually save us so much money.
Yeah.
But I understand the government here likes to employ a lot of jobs, right? So what happens is a job that only takes 5 people to do, they want 50 to do in order to pay more people. And I understand on that side too, you know, they're trying to employ more of our citizens, but it slows down the overall forward movement of business and innovation in the CNMI.
And
Right.
it hurts future business owners wanting to come.
Oh yeah.
Well, and that's
For
the
sure.
thing, right? On the flip side of that, Derek, is we see an overbloated government, right? That's inefficient, and that's the honest truth. Everybody knows it. We talk about it at the legislature, and one of the things we want to figure out is how do we get our people, right, members of our community, to want to work in the private sector. Well, I was having a conversation with Travis, right, to build capacity because this CW is going to end in 2029. Let's be real. No one's going to say, okay, we'll give you another extension. That's not happening, right? So I think Travis and I were having a conversation at his bar one night, and he said, you know, I hate to say it, but they just don't like to work. And that's horrible for me to hear, right?
Sure.
And I get one thing from business owners that say they're great, and then I hear something else, and they're not horrible, but they just lack work ethic and discipline.
It's the culture.
Right? Yeah.
It's a culture.
Very DEI.
Very what?
DEI.
No, but you know, that's
What's
the
that?
thing, right? How do we get our people to come out and say, you know what, it's a job? I mean, when I was working private sector, you don't work. If you don't work, you don't get paid, period. And when you saw your check, you were like, I am never missing work again.
But I think it
because
comes from several. You gotta look at history, right?
I'm just
So
how things
culture,
are, yeah.
island life. I mean, that's not just Saipan. It's
Right,
Hawaii
correct.
too, and
Yeah.
locals in general
That's Puerto
are
Rico
very, very
and
chill.
Virgin Islands, it's the same.
Yeah, very, very laid back lifestyle, and that's why all of us that have moved here love it in a sense, right?
Right, for sure.
Now, so I'm not calling that a negative,
No.
but now you look at our economic boom in '90s and 2000s, right? From every story I've heard, I wasn't here. From every story I've heard, 98% of families had their own in-house chefs, cleaners,
Oh, yeah.
landscapers, maids, etc. from the Philippines, right? Mostly Philippines. It became a norm, and then it crashed. But they all got used to not having to really do as much. So I just see it as part of like the history of as we progress and get into the next generation of, you know, I think the younger generation is going to school more, is looking into more of like their
Right.
history, right?
Yeah.
It just is part of the history.
But you also see that I could understand some business owners are afraid to hire some locals because I've heard some stories where if you tell them something, they said, I'm going to sue you or I'm going to quit you on the spot. So there's, you have those kind of barriers, right? In the situation. But I think I really think that our economy is definitely hurting no matter what it is, no matter who comes on the island. We could have, these grand ideas. Look at that eyesore that we see. We always talk about,
In my precinct.
In your precinct, yeah.
Middle Road.
Yeah,
That's
Middle Road.
yeah. How is that going to be taken down? Like, there's so many houses around there now. How are you going to get heavy equipment there to be even? Who's going to take it down? Like, I don't think a
What are we taking
homeowner is going to be able to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We cannot take
Oh
it down.
my gosh.
I'm sorry. I regress. I was talking about the huge factory on Middle Road that's
Oh, the Linson.
just after the
Yeah, LJ
traffic
right
light
across.
on the right. That huge one. Like,
Wow.
that's like a 5-story building. Like, it's just enormous. Like, that's going to take some major crane and very careful planning to take it down safely. That's not going to happen overnight. And there's so many houses now built around it.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many, going back to our blighted
And if the owner
buildings.
is broke right now.
Oh, the owner is
yeah.
probably dead by now. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this is back in the '90s, right? And it was probably, or China. They're back in, there's no longer the owners are long gone. It was one of the factories dead in the middle of Middle Road, right in the center there. It's huge. It's across from Bravo almost. Yeah, it's ginormous.
Could it be a pickleball court?
You do not want to put anything in there. Those walls were falling down soon.
Growing up, it's huge.
It's huge. Yeah,
very, very big.
It's so big that you just ignore it now.
Yeah.
I think I have.
Yeah, look to the right, above the trees, as you're driving Middle Road, past the light, as you're going towards Garapan. Look up to the right. You can't miss it.
Across the street from Bravo.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, then going back to this, I guess the way Chamorros or local people are, right, natives to the Pacific Islands. Family is very important. And one of the things, I was just having this conversation with a long-time resident, obviously not from here, but she moved here many years ago. And I said, one of the problems that I do see happening is that back when I was in my 20s, before I left and I came back, there's no interdisciplinary training for expats, right? You come from metropolitan cities. You have no idea.
I mean, cultural training?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to transition. And you see this till now. You see some come in and they're like, oh my God, their family member died and now they're asking to take off. Well, sir, in our culture, family is very important.
Right.
If anything, it's number one. We believe in helping our family first and foremost.
Sure.
And these are these interdisciplinary kind of trainings and information and education that they need to start imposing in this, recruitment, right, as they start coming over this way to fill capacity.
But the orientation, I've talked about that.
Yes.
You're bringing that up.
So every time I've deployed, we've had to go through an extensive orientation of the land. So whether it be Afghanistan, Iraq, Kuwait, wherever we're going, right? So it's like a full week of training, learning about
the people,
the cultures. Exactly. So how you can't even look at women, right, in the Middle East. You don't show the bottom of your feet. I don't think about that as a mainlander. I'm sitting on a lounge chair at the beach, something. I kick my foot up and my slippers on, But that's extremely that's you could be put to death But to have a full program for an investor coming in, I mean, that would be great. I just have never seen it anywhere else. I moved to Hawaii and I learned the hard way from becoming very howly to very local very quickly because you basically slapped across the head a few times and then you realize, okay, that's not how I do it. You're used to that. That's just the way it is in the mainland, right? And so being in the islands now for over 25 years, I learned. Right? So I think, unfortunately, it's just going to have to be the hard way.
PK was like that at one point.
He's still like that. No, I was kidding.
Anyways, Brad, could we go to commercial break because I see Derek's drink there is super low.
Well, it's not as low as mine, but but before we get to that,
definitely a commercial.
But before we do that, we do have a question that came in. It says it's a statement with a question. It says, "Private business owners don't give any raise, no matter how good you are. The big hotels were making big bucks and zero pay raise. Why?"
I have an answer for that.
Okay, please.
I talk about it all the time. I think there is something talking about something that needs to come into the light. I think there is definitely addiction to slave labor prices here.
Yes.
I think like you talking about the Howleys coming over, they were so excited 20 years ago to be paying $3 an hour. And when we first opened the dental practice, we decided not to ever do that, right? And I cannot tell you how much criticism we got for that. It's like, no, we didn't want to be known as the people who did everything minimum wage. So I just think that's a part of it, is that I call it addicted to cheap labor.
Yeah.
And I'll say something else. There are some professions, not all, a handful, physicians, dentists, probably eye doctors, CPAs, lawyers. I'm here to tell you, they can make as much money here or more than they made in the States, and they paid those wages in the States. So get over yourself, right? Stop it. If you can.
Yeah.
Right? Now, some businesses can't afford the $3 because they probably shouldn't be in business anyway.
Right.
I mean, you got the whole other side.
That's a really good. I want to talk about that after we go to commercial break about who should and should not be in business. That's a good topic.
Well,
okay. Well, let's refill our drinks.
I mean, in Chuk, they get paid like dollars.
Paradise Dental's giving you the gas. Well, not that kind of gas. You already know that Paradise Dental has the most affordable coverage in the entire Marianas, and now we've got something special just for new customers. And now for a limited time, Paradise Dental is offering free gas vouchers for new signups for their coverage plan. If you sign up for a singles plan, you'll get a $10 gas voucher. If you sign up for a couples plan, that's a $15 gas voucher. And if you sign up for the whole family plan, that's a $20 gas voucher right after your first visit. So hurry down to Paradise Dental and sign up for the CNMI's most affordable dental coverage today. These gas vouchers are limited, and with smiles like these, you know they're gonna go fast. Paradise Dental's giving you the gas. Well, not that kind of gas. You're
Hey, I'm Coach Derek Cutting, the owner and founder of Laddie Built Fitness. So no matter who you talk to here at Laddie Built, everyone feels that they are part of a family, part of a group of like-minded people. No one feels judged. No one feels like they're being teased or picked on or looked down upon because maybe they don't know what they're doing. They could be brand new and have no idea what they're doing. They might be overweight or really skinny and feel very self-conscious about themselves. But at Laddie Built, nobody judges here. And if you ask anybody here that might be in better shape than you or even not, but has experience in the gym, they will gladly help you through a workout and teach you a few techniques that could help you. So Laddie Built organically from day one, since the boot camp era, has organically grown this fostered environment of community and being a safe place, but a strong work ethic community of people that want to get work done. All I can say is that I put my heart and soul into it from day one. I treated everyone like that at the boot camp from the very, very beginnings, and everyone at the same time would treat each other like that from the boot camp era as well. And as we grew, as we got into a brick and mortar facility, we got bigger and bigger, I feel like people definitely just take this place as a home, as like their brother and sisters are working out next to them, not their enemy or not their competitor, So organically, it's just the vibe here is different. Everyone feels very, very comfortable, and I love the fact that it happened like that.
We're back again. Donna, you have something to say, Donna?
No, we were just talking about that it was nice to have Marissa here as a human and not just as a legislator. And she's talking about, they're aware, the legislature's aware of the issues that we face here, and that, like we said before, I just think it's just really important that we keep talking.
Yes.
Just keep talking until we get each other and work towards solutions. And my question about the land, back to the land thing, if the person that owns the land, let's just say they just refuse to do what they need to do, can that land revert to the government and become public land?
No.
Never. Okay. I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah. Unless it was public land to begin with, then yes.
What happens then, though?
Oh, I can tell you a little bit about that.
To the
It
family.
stays blighted.
You got red?
Or it stays blighted.
It stays blighted.
So I went to, in fact, not that I want to make it the Brad show, which it normally is, but the main thing on this is that I went to one of the public hearings with Therese Ogamoro, and I asked her that exact question: is there something where the government takes the land back from the folks? And she said no, and that is not the intent. So what happens is, after there's a different timeline for residential land and commercial property. If it's a person if it's a local who owns the land and all that other stuff, what happens is after a certain amount of time, I believe it's 90 days for residential, then they're going to get a fine, and they have 180 days to do something about it. And if they don't do something about it in 180 days, then that fine ends up gaining 6% interest per annum, and that's it. Now, they said that there's a way around it, and the main thing that they want to do, they want to work with folks. They don't want to get to a point where this gets to be unpayable and all that other stuff. They want to work with people so that they can make something happen. But really, but that was the big concern that we got too, about people losing their land over that stuff.
But this is just not the right time. You can get people, you can employ even, what's his name? Commissioner Torres has a bunch of, I guess low tier criminals, right? Low tier, where they're not a harm to community, right? They can go out there and clean that for a fee to pay the restitution. But to pass, but to pass this, fee during a time of just economic constraint, I mean, that's not fair. You had 20 years to plan that, right?
Yeah, but we mentioned it earlier. Every
administration
is different. And that's a focus this time. It's the first time it's actually, I think, been thought of, and actually moved forward. Maybe I don't say it was maybe thought of before, but the first time actually is action happening. Sometimes it's just like business, a family. It's never the right time. So now is better than never. And
I mean, abandoned properties was one of my things on my platform. So, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't think, you should have done it 2 years ago, right?
And now, coming back to why we have the show, I mean, it's been said many times before, it's just not fair, Yeah. Who is it not fair to? And I get it's not fair to the people that own it, it's not fair to the government, it's not fair to anybody. But you know what?
Lose your rental property.
Yeah.
Every single month, we pay our taxes.
Yeah.
I don't think some of
agree.
it's fair, but you know what?
Yeah.
We pay our taxes, we do our stuff, and we've talked about it last month. There's very few businesses on this island that are making money right now, but we don't take it on as our plight. That it's not fair to us. No,
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Fair is fair.
And I agree. I just,
So, I mean, you can't
that's
use
just
that
my
as
personal
a
opinion.
reason anymore.
Right.
We can't say it's not fair to people.
Yeah.
And
And I agree, Travis. Honestly, I think coming up and designing a plan that works,
Correct.
right,
Yeah.
is the best way out of this.
Right.
And I guess that's why, I have to give my hats off to zoning, because they've been getting a really bad rap about all of this. And Port Therese, right? I mean, I know this girl personally. I've gone to her to actually go through this administrative hearing for business owners in my precinct, advocating for, like, hey, wait a minute, this is what this says, and how can we fix this? And so she's very open to that, right? And that she is allowed to do that based in in her job. And I've done that, and she knows this is just one of these things that she has to tackle. And I hats off to her for being right there in the firing squad.
And this is the way you get the conversations going. It's
Yeah.
when you slap everybody in the face and then everybody says,
Right.
what are we doing now?
Yeah.
Now this is where you go to go
applaud
forward.
her
Right.
Yeah.
for doing the village meetings. She's the guest speaker at the chamber next week. She's getting out there.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's not easy.
It's not easy to
But
do during this
she's
time.
trying
yeah.
to make her plight
Right.
known.
And Marissa's always listened. Always has listened.
No, she's
Without question.
she's a listener. Besides being a talker, but she listens more than she
You
talks.
should talk. You should talk.
Yeah, he should.
You're not a listener.
Talk.
You're just a talker.
PK does not like it when someone steals her rainbow.
Oh my God! Listen to this. Listen to this.
Now we're getting back to
Clown
last
on
month's
PK
show.
Day.
Last Sharp Bar.
Clown on PK.
She's so
Last short,
sensitive.
yeah. Speaking about
Delta Donna.
speaking about Delta Donna, I want to ask you. I know that your dental office relies on Medicaid, and so I hear that in the next 10 years they'll be cutting $800 billion off of Medicaid in the next 10 years.
Well, then then come visit me in Georgia
Yeah.
if that happens.
Do what you gotta do, right?
No. Okay.
They don't have any teeth in Georgia.
Yes. Of course,
I was going to respond, Brad. But I don't want to offend anybody from Alabama.
So
Not teeth here, but teeth down there.
Oh Jesus.
And we just had a
Margaret.
great, speaking of, part of the government, we just had there's a new commissioner at Medicaid, or is that what you call him?
Director.
Director.
Director,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mr. George Cruz, and He just called a 2 full day training session with all the Medicaid providers. That's never been done before.
That's
It was a
awesome.
class act 2 days of learning, and just the way they did it. But he was telling us about some of the things that are on the table for the federal program of Medicaid. And this has nothing to do with CNMI, this conversation. So if they were some of those things to come down, it would kill the program, right? So, but we don't think that will happen because they will look at each area individually, and there's no way they can look at CNMI as part of that. It's just a different kettle of fish here,
Yeah.
right? So we're very hopeful
So you
for
just,
that
you feel secure.
for now.
Okay.
And any
Yeah.
of the changes that will come, he was made it very clear they probably wouldn't happen until for about 2 more years down the road. You know, the federal government, nothing moves quickly. But having said that, and I'm so glad this came up, let's just take dentistry for a second. If Medicaid goes away, you need 1 dental office working a half a day. That's all you need. We have 7 plus the
Of
hospital
all
right now.
Saipan, yeah.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Because that is the size of the Medicaid population here,
Right.
right? And it's a fabulous program. I could go on and on and on about the benefits of that program for young children and families. And, you know, in our profession, the biggest thing between us and what we know how to do is money. And with Medicaid, you don't have to think about money. We can just love on people, right? We just take good care of them. So, but if that does go away, you will see most of the dental offices.
Then you become a
close.
small business like Derek and I.
No, then I'm going to come work for you and mix drinks.
I
don't
can't afford you right now.
At least you would go in and start mixing drinks and.
You can
I would
volunteer
figure
to
it
work
out.
for us and clean the floors, but I can't afford you right
We've
now.
had that conversation on a couple different levels before of the different types of businesses, from Derek's to mine to Donna's to everybody's different types of businesses, and
To Brad's.
to Brad's, to how you succeed and how you fail and what you rely on and what you don't. With Donna's, they have the whole family with Medicaid options. With Derek's, it goes to a whole family without Medicaid options. With me, it goes to 21 and over with no Medicaid options. So there's 3 different levels of business, right? So you can, it's very easy for you to get 42, not very easy, but you got 42 dental appointments.
It was easy.
You gave away,
I love it. I love that.
It was
gave
easy.
away some sort of ear
I was
pods.
shocked. Those earbuds. Those earbuds.
iPods was earlier.
But that's what Derek and I talk about a lot,
Yeah.
you know, is the different kinds of businesses that you have and how many customers you're exposed to. Where you go from you that are exposed to, say, 80%, really 100% of the population. Then to
Cradle to grave.
Derek, then to Derek that goes,
I'd say
to maybe
10%.
10. To me, I figured
Right.
after that census,
Right.
15,000 registered voters, I really probably have 6,000
Yeah.
legitimate customers.
Right.
That's all we have, with no backup.
You're not the only one.
Yeah.
You're not a monopoly.
Exactly. No.
So it's,
No, and I
10%
have to say, we
divided by
feel-
now
I
3
wanna
gyms
make
on island.
sure
Yeah.
we, in this economy, we feel extremely blessed. I don't want to ever not say that because it is a blessing to be able to keep our doors open and keep our employees with a job and no hours cut, and on and on and on. But from a business standpoint, we have always never put all of our eggs in one basket. So right now we're about 40% Medicaid historically, and we were 60% everybody else. Because that's over here, the 60% that's a better cash flow than Medicaid, on and on and on. Well, what's happening is this batch, the 60% non-Medicaid, those are the ones leaving the island in droves.
Yeah.
And it's forcing us over here from a business standpoint to relying on Medicaid.
That one basket.
And you rely on the federal government for everything, you need your head examined.
Yeah.
Right, okay?
Yeah.
So we're being forced into a situation and the cash flows. So of course, that's why we're so excited about Director Cruz coming on board.
Right on.
Because he comes from the business sector and understands all this. But we are in now, we're full every single day because of some of the skills we have, but our revenue's half of what it was.
Right.
Because this 60% isn't spending as much.
Correct.
Right? Medicaid people are still spending the same amount.
Yeah.
I mean, not
Because
spending.
nothing
but
is
they're
Medicaid.
Charging, would say.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's all kinds of little dances you're doing in a business. I mean, the only reason we can be here at night is because the place is closed. Right? Right? We couldn't do this during the day because there's so many hats that
Yeah.
you're
Not able to
wearing.
open, by the way,
So many
24 hours a
balls you're
day.
juggling.
Just Shameless plug.
Which is actually what makes
Yeah,
it.
Derek is 24 hours a day, you guys. See how he works 24 hours a day. And if anybody sees those silver lights, please call him in the parking lot.
Successful business owners are nothing but fantastic jugglers.
Hey, and if anybody sees Derek driving around the Last Shot Bar truck in the next few days, it's him, not me.
I've been rocking Travis's truck a few days now.
He borrowed the truck.
It's getting more exposure than
anything bad. Anything bad that happens out there in the next few days, please call me
you.
so I can notify Derek that he's being.
I'm like, why is he? I'm like, wait.
Okay, but I was going to tell you.
I mean, Travis not up that early.
Sorry, Donna. We totally
I saw
cut
the
you
truck,
off.
but I said, I got to talk to Travis.
Okay,
Have
so
the phone number on the back.
my Jeep is down, and I'm waiting to get it fixed.
I know
So
you love
Travis
that Jeep.
gracefully offered his truck for me to borrow. So, I mean, it's a win-win.
Oh, he's driving the truck. Rotary.
I get a vehicle to drive the truck, and I'm promoting the crap out of his bar. Because I drive around a lot.
I
I'm
was
going
behind you.
to
I was behind
Cagman,
him
to
too.
town, to Garapan, to back to CK. I'm all over the place.
What's
So,
Travis
and
going to the
it's
crowd
funny
house?
because his windows are very tinted, right?
I'm like, he doesn't
So
get up
I get all
that
these
early.
looks.
scared.
I get
I
all
don't
these
get up
looks.
till 4 a.m.
I get honks and beeps and waves and looks, and they're trying to see who's driving. So they're like, Travis never drives his truck. Why is it on the road right now?
I know, I saw that. Yeah.
That's funny.
But
I thought it was Travis.
that goes back to part of
So I'm marketing for you.
it is.
Yeah.
And I'll give you.
This is the
10%.
small business network. That's what we do.
I got the truck. I don't need anything.
But I mean, part of that goes back to what we talked about before about the businesses helping businesses. When Derek's Jeep is broke down, and I knew that they were struggling with one vehicle, they got Mackay, they got everything. They live out in Cagman, and they're back and forth. And I needed to borrow an air compressor from Derek, and he was having troubles getting it into town because
I only had one car.
I said,
Yeah.
Shy and I don't need two vehicles. I said, you can certainly take the truck. And that's, again, just another way that businesses help business, friends help friends,
Yeah.
and islanders help
Right.
islanders. This
That's
is what we
back
do
to
on
the
the
family
islands,
thing,
We
right?
go back.
I mean,
We're just bringing that down to the business.
And that
owner.
goes down to this resiliency attitude,
is.
right? We're
Absolutely.
very resilient.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think a lot of the stresses that we're feeling is that, back then in the 80s, I'm going to bring eggs into this situation because we got an egg problem
Yeah,
apparently.
we got an
now.
egg problem on top of it.
So, eggs were
You're
like,
hiding eggs
what,
somewhere,
$2.50 a
Donna?
dozen back then,
Yeah.
right?
That's
And it keeps going. And now you have this populace, right? This community. This is not the first time we're going through a recession. This is
Right.
about the third, fourth time, right? And every single time we've pulled ourselves out of it. But if you go backwards, right, you think about all the stress, all the devastation, all the injustice that happened within a span of 5 years. I think our community is just
Really?
over it. We're just mentally and
Overwhelmed.
physically and just done. Our spirits now are
Yeah.
just going towards, prayer and time at the bar. I mean,
But
it's the
Get
truth,
drunk.
It is.
That's what we do. We don't have money. Everyone says, Jesus Christ, these people, they complain they don't have money, but damn, they're always at the bar. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't have money for a therapist, but I do have money for a six-pack.
Have a
You know
yard
what I'm
sale.
saying? Right.
Yeah.
And I think I need to stress this because
You're
we
burnt
will
out.
get through. We
Yeah,
will.
absolutely.
It's just, it
shoots out
takes
pass.
patience and it just
Yeah.
takes us working together, right? You can't row this boat and then one person is going the other way. It's going to mess it up, right? And how do we bring our people back together again?
Well, I
it's
think that's-
very simple.
I think that's why we do, for me, it's always been words into action, like doing the trade show, doing these, helping small businesses, putting these mixers together, these workshops. Speaking of workshop, we have SBDC coming next
Oh,
month.
good. I
They're
love
going to be
them.
doing a workshop for our business network over at Daejeon Kum.
Okay.
I don't know why that word come. Jesus Christ.
One track mind.
I know. Sorry.
Is that,
Will haven't had enough.
Until you totally
Someone
carved
cannot
off.
give PK any more alcohol.
You guys
Someone
are
cannot
just
give
that.
PK any more alcohol. She cannot
Speaking
be
of that,
drinking.
let's can we go to commercial break, Brian, so that we can bring in our
So she can go into a commercial break.
Hey, we can, but I want to do
A couple of things real quick. Just want to let you guys know a couple of the comments that came in. One, Kay Duena says, "Hi, beautiful dental Donna. Your PDS family is watching."
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yep. I love this comment came in and said, "I love our dysfunctional but quaint island. Hope these small business owners do too."
We do.
Absolutely.
Travis weighed in and said, "PK's drink looks emptying."
You see it in his face.
Yeah. And PJ weighed in and said, hey, since y'all are having a few, I'd like to send a shout out to my sister Rochelle Tomacani Palacios. A happy birthday. Cheers, everyone. This is coming from Seattle.
Happy birthday,
And she's watching from Seattle.
Yeah.
So how
I
about
know
that?
her.
Go the Hawks.
I know her. Hi, Roach. Happy birthday.
Oh, yeah. And then one says, tell Marissa no religious or political talk when you're drinking.
I forgot about the rules. Sorry. Sorry.
All right.
By the way, they sell these chips. Yes, absolutely. I'm going to be marketing for everybody now.
And the margaritas are compliments of last shop.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So we are gonna go to commercial break, and after we come back from commercial break, we have Miss Arlene. I'm sorry, I'm drunk already, girl. Sorry.
Easy for you to say. Here we go. We'll be back after this.
Glad to say it.
Hey, I'm Coach Derek Cutting, the owner and founder of Laddie Built Fitness. So no matter who you talk to here at Laddie Built, everyone feels that they are part of a family, part of a group of like-minded people. No one feels judged. No one feels like they're being teased or picked on or looked down upon because maybe they don't know what they're doing. They could be brand new and have no idea what they're doing. They might be overweight or really skinny and feel very self-conscious about themselves. But at Laddie Built, nobody judges here. And if you ask anybody here that might be in better shape than you or even not, but has experience in the gym, they will gladly help you through a workout and teach you a few techniques that could help you. So Laddie Built organically from day one, since the boot camp era, has organically grown this fostered environment of community and being a safe place, but a strong work ethic community of people that want to get work done. All I can say is that I put my heart and soul into it from day one. I treated everyone like that at the boot camp from the very, very beginnings, and everyone at the same time would treat each other like that from the boot camp era as well. And as we grew, as we got into a brick and mortar facility, we got bigger and bigger. I feel like people definitely just take this place as a home, as like their brother and sisters are working out next to them, not their enemy or not their competitor, you know? So organically, it's just the vibe here is different. Everyone feels very, very comfortable, and I love the fact that it happened like that.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. We've got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often. Paradise Dental's giving you the gas. Well, not that kind of gas. You already know that Paradise Dental has the most affordable coverage in the entire Marianas, and now we've got something special just for new customers. And now for a limited time, Paradise Dental is offering free gas vouchers for new signups for their coverage plan. If you sign up for a singles plan, you'll get a $10 gas voucher. If you sign up for a couples plan, that's a $15 gas voucher. And if you sign up for the whole family plan, that's a $20 gas voucher right after your first visit. So hurry down to Paradise Dental and sign up for the CNMI's most affordable dental coverage today. These gas vouchers are limited, and with smiles like these, you know they're gonna go fast.
Hey, I'm Coach Derek Cutting, the owner and founder of Laddie Built Fitness. So no matter who you talk to here at Laddie Built, everyone feels that they are part of a family, part of a group of like-minded people. No one feels judged. No one feels like they're being teased or picked on or looked down upon because maybe they don't know what they're doing. They could be brand new and have no idea what they're doing. They might be overweight or really skinny and feel very self-conscious about themselves. But at Laddie Built, nobody judges here. And if you ask anybody here that might be in better shape than you, or even not, but has experience in the gym, they will gladly help you through a workout and teach you a few techniques that can help you. So Laddie Built organically from day one, since the boot camp era, has organically grown this fostered environment of community and being a safe place, but a strong work ethic community of people that want to get work done. All I can say is that I put my heart and soul into it from day one. I treated everyone like that at the boot camp from the very, very beginnings, and everyone at the same time would treat each other like that from the boot camp era as well. And as we grew, as we got into a brick and mortar facility, we got bigger and bigger. I feel like people definitely just take this place as a home, as like their brother and sisters are working out next to them, not their enemy or not their competitor, So organically, it's just the vibe here is different. Everyone feels very, very comfortable, and I love the fact that it happened like that.
Got Medicaid? Paradise Dental's got you covered. Got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
Don't be nervous, you're fine, you look great.
PK,
She was here last month too.
Yeah,
She's
please tell me
grown.
it's
We're on.
Would you like to
All right, so we are back. We are back because
Oh, hold on,
everybody.
she wants a drink.
Wait, everybody wants to.
Oh, can you give her some of that?
Hold on. Could I introduce
Hurry
them
up.
right back again?
You're too slow.
Here we go.
Here we go.
And we're back.
And we're back again. My too much margaritas and too much over talking.
I'll help you out, BK.
Okay.
You can talk.
Okay, thank you.
Let's talk.
And
Thank you.
so we're back with Arlene from Daejunggung. Right?
Is that how you pronounce it the first time?
Daejunggung, yes.
Yes, Daejunggung.
Daejunggung.
Yes.
Daejunggung.
Why are you shy tonight?
Huh?
Why are you so shy
Thank you,
tonight?
Derek. You're awesome.
No,
Thanks so
I was
much.
supposed to tell you that I'm just gonna drop the food.
Well, sorry, you're not going to That's not happening right now.
Yeah,
You cannot leave
Yeah.
until you're done.
you're doing.
Yeah, we don't know what
Yeah.
it's doing. So after you have a
There
sip
you
of this,
go.
sip happens.
Sip happens.
Wow,
Sit
tastes
down.
great.
Welcome.
Tastes great. It's from Last Shot Bar.
Yes.
Thank you, April.
So Arlene, tell us about your experience at the trade show. How was that for you?
Oh, it's
Arlene was in the boot camp class too.
Yes, the trade show really helps a lot of people. Not only me, but I have spoken to my co-Filipino business owner, and they are very happy and grateful for the Marianas Business Network to do that trade show. It really helps a lot, especially us small business. Thank you.
You're very welcome for coming.
Yeah. And so any different status changes from last month about closing
Your
your
March
business?
20th date?
Yeah.
We are still closing the business right now.
Okay.
Yes.
But we got some fantastic
You're
food that you want to
temporarily,
show off.
right?
Temporarily,
There you
temporary. Hopefully, it's gonna be temporary, and still the decision of my co-partners, they really think that we have to close the business, and my heart really is. I'm really sad because of the decision, because
We're sad for you.
I know that I did a lot to do for that business to work, and I know for sure that in due time, because you know we are just 1 year. We're turning 1 year this March 26, and I know in all businesses, 1 year is not enough for the market, for the business to grow. That's what I know.
Right.
Even though I don't have a business, what's to call that, PK? I'm not graduate in business.
Degree.
Background.
Degree, yeah.
I don't have
Degree in
a
business, okay.
degree in business. I'm not.
That's
I
all
don't
right,
have.
That's
girl.
not
You got
required.
hard work
Required.
ethic, so
Yes.
that's fine.
And I know for sure that we are just on the first step, and we didn't reach the second step yet. And I know if possible that my partners would like to continue for the next year, I know that we already gonna get that profit that we're looking for. But right now, since we started, I'm not really after the profit. I'm really after for getting customers. That's my goal for 1 year.
Build the foundation first.
Yeah, to make that foundation. That's why our prices for the food is very cheap. People asking me, why so cheap? Why very cheap? Are you?
delicious. I've been there.
Thank you. Thank you. And I keep on telling them that we are not really that looking for big profit. We are not like that. Because we know the status of the status of the people here in Saipan.
Yeah.
We don't really make that much money. So we have to make, we have to get something small is okay. And so that people can taste our food, they can try, and they will not be afraid to try our food because they will think it's very expensive because it's Daejeonggum, Korean restaurant. Of course, they know that it's tourist restaurant. Because that restaurant before markets only for tourists.
Oh, because the hotel across the street.
Yes.
Well, resort, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I started to market that one for locals. Because I have this customers before, locals, Philippine. They told me a lot of stories. So that's why we offer cheap buffet. That's why.
And I think what you're talking about is what all of our businesses are talking about. There's none of us here right now. Derek, Donna, myself, we are all basically 100% local, right? It's everybody that lives here. There is no tourism, and even when the tourism is here, they're not going to the dentist, they're not going to the gym.
Right.
Some of them are going to the bar, but not mine. I mean, we're 100% local, and we feel you. And I think that's why PK was talking about having that, little entrepreneur thing in the coming months, because this is a hard thing.
Because we're now, instead, I speak about this all the time. Let's look at, besides, B2C, right? Business to consumers, let's look at B2B now. That's what we all need to be doing is B2B.
Because you're networking, right?
Right, and how we're going to be supporting one another, right? Like how you're...
But this economy right now is not a strong profit economy,
No.
right? And I understand some investors, they come into business and they want 15, 20, 30% of what the revenue is going to be, right? So they can walk away with fat pockets. This is a cash flow economy right now. As long as you have some cash flow to stay afloat, it's this. We're in the lifeboat right now, right? And
Right.
are there businesses out there making 20, 30%? Probably, but not many, right? So you got to pick and choose what your
Niche.
your journey is going to be. What are you going to choose to get into to have that 20, 30%? It's not Korean food. It's not the gym business. It's not the bar business, dental business. We're all maintaining with cash flow for our loyal members and customers that are coming to us. They trust us. They enjoy what they receive, and we want to keep providing that and paying our staff. But above and beyond that, there's not a whole lot left at the moment, right? We want to eventually get.
What would you say, Arlene, that the biggest expense right now running the restaurant? What would you say would be the biggest one? CUC?
CUC, the rent, and the salary.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so
Those
it's
are the
labor,
Three things that take my
utilities,
choice.
yeah.
And that will
So if you
never
can cut
change.
costs somehow,
Yeah.
maybe you can talk to your partners. If you can cut costs, you can maybe possibly stay in business, right?
Yes, as much as possible, I really want to because I know that I already started getting a lot of locals, but sometimes if you can see in the future, sometimes there's a lot of things that I have to think about. Yes, that's
But,
why.
but something Marissa said before that I really believe is that I always say it like, don't ever bet against this place, right?
Right.
Yeah.
They're coming back.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
Yes.
The resilience here is
Right.
impressive.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
so for
yeah,
now,
go ahead.
things might look bleak,
Yeah.
but, what if it does turn out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's
No,
exactly
not
I
what
think
if,
too.
it will.
Yeah,
It
that's why
will.
we're all here.
Yeah,
talk-
it will. It will.
It
If we
will.
didn't believe in this economy right here, all of us would probably shut our doors right
Yeah,
now.
and leave the island.
I mean, that's
And
the
leave.
reality
Yeah.
of it is,
Yeah.
I told Shai,
That's
I'm
every
dying
business
here. I am
every business
staying
on this
here, and
island.
I'm staying in business, that's it.
has faith in the future.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, they would
There-
shut themselves down.
Derek and I have said, there is no plan B. Plan A
That's
has
right.
Plan A has
Plan A.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
We
Yeah,
burned
yeah.
our boat.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
Plan B.
on a happier note, what do we have here?
This is a.
Island's best kimchi, I hear.
Yes. Most of our locals really loves our kimchi.
It is
We're
bomb.
selling this one per pound $5 only.
Wow.
Wow, really?
Okay.
Yes.
Isabella K. Guerrero, did you hear that? Because you love kimchi. $5 a pound.
Approximately how much
Yeah.
does this weigh? So for like
This one
visuality,
is this one is 2 pounds.
2 pounds.
Wow.
This is
Okay,
$10 this whole
let's talk
thing
about
here.
this for a second.
This would be a great party, yeah.
Let's
talk
watch Derek
about
eat
this.
$10 worth right now.
Shush, Travis.
You're gonna feel it on that tomorrow morning.
This is
Derek.
freshly made today, just this afternoon. It's gonna taste
See, she belongs in the food business.
Yeah.
with everybody. So my thought for you is, I'm a big believer in a confused mind does nothing. We're so confused we don't do anything. So when you were talking to me initially about all the different foods that you had, my eyes were kind of like, what, I can't follow the story. But when you said the other day, oh, I'm told that we have the best kimchi, if you were to drive that, and then people come in to get that, and they say, oh, you have this other stuff too, right? You could make this out of your house, right?
yes,
By yourself,
yes.
right? So there's ways to
Second
get
floor
through
dental,
this,
dental
I was gonna say,
Second
she's
floor.
got,
right?
she's got Plan B.
You have more of a plan B than the rest of us. None of us can cook.
My plan B and my plan A.
I just got a little bit sweaty from that little bite there of the
Yeah.
kimchi. Has
Very
a little,
good.
You were already
Yeah.
sweating, Kika.
What's this other one here? Oh,
That-
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, and your humility is so refreshing,
Yeah.
right? People are gonna know, like, and trust you, they didn't even know your name yet,
Yeah.
right? That's a gift.
Right.
People stop me on the street and say, smile, it can't be that bad. It's like,
Yeah.
She's all like,
I'm always just thinking.
Well, at
I'm
least
the
you don't
same
get
way.
that. Why are you always mad, Marissa? You're always
My
mad. You're
RBI.
always pissed off about something. And I'm like,
Can't be that
I'm not mad. I mean, I'm a little frustrated. But I'm not mad. Trust me, there's a big difference between the two on me. So,
No, but
yeah.
I mean, we were talking earlier before you got here that people like to do business with those they know, like, and trust. You
Yeah.
got that going on in spades.
yeah. So you're building relationships, right?
Yeah.
And
So
people.
don't,
That's
remember I said last
business.
month, don't unplug from this group no matter what.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what tomorrow brings and
Yeah.
what you will discover through these people,
Absolutely.
right? Because we're
Yes.
problem solvers. That's really all we
Here's
know
a
how
good
to do.
little. This can't come to my thought now. We have thousands of viewers between today and then the review, right?
Yeah.
Landlords, please let us know what you have available.
Yeah.
If they can save some costs
Yeah.
and figure out a way to open a central location for them. Put your stuff on the
Yeah.
page. We can definitely work together, right? It's the whole
Yeah,
point of this
for
whole
sure.
thing.
Yeah.
Networking.
And if you have a blighted building that's gonna get fined, you have other businesses here, but yeah, I mean, I think your resilience is a true testament about what a good business is and how we can come together. And I want to talk about that japchae though.
Okay.
Is that how you say it? Japchae.
Yeah, japchae. Yes.
Japchae.
Yes.
Oh,
This has to be one of my favorite dishes of Daejungkum.
Daejunggung.
yeah. What
That's
what
just-
nationality is this food? What's the nationality is this one?
Korean.
It's all Korean.
Oh, Korean. She's got a couple go on there.
Derek, could you try it, please? Try it.
Can I try it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
I
can
like
you
to
hold
eat-
it to
We
me?
don't have any plates, so Derek,
Well, I thought we had
We're
plates
roughing
there.
it here tonight,
no
guys.
plates, and I have one fork. So
He's
just
got a
be able to-
fork.
here we go. Can we
I have
focus
more,
on
I have
Derek?
more.
You
Somebody
give
finish
me-
your chips. and
Hey,
use
it's
that
not the
bowl.
NMI table service.
Your
And
presentation is beautiful too.
Yeah.
The
Thank
way
you.
you present things.
She did her she did a demo which was fantastic. She did a salad, right? It was a
Yeah,
good salad.
the lettuce, we ran out of lettuce in the market. That's why we're not able to make it here. I'm so sorry.
So I told her, I said, whatever you bring, make sure it has no eggs in it, because I know how expensive it is.
Oh my God. Eggs. Let's go back to the eggs.
So when I was visually looking at it, I thought it was chicken.
No
but it's
chicken.
mushroom.
Yes.
So it's vegetarian dish.
Vegetarian.
Yes.
We have vegetarian.
Kind of sad, but
Oh, you mean?
but I think it tastes delicious.
I was gonna say all the same. As soon as the show ends, that's gonna be gone in about.
Yeah.
2
Yeah,
minutes.
right. Jackson's not gonna
There's
be that
seven
sad, okay?
people eating out of that tray.
I would just like it more if it had more protein. That's all I'm saying.
Put your chips in there.
Yeah, put your chips in
No, it
there.
was delicious.
Yeah. Are you okay, Bride? By the way, we heard you coughing back there. Were you Derek number 2 this season? I mean, this
Yeah,
episode?
definitely reenactment of
So,
last
so
week.
from the marketing standpoint, you have vegetarian options.
Yes.
See, it's just all in how you say things.
So we are. Please go support Dae Jung Kum. Across the street from World Markets.
World Resort.
World Resort.
Dude.
You are horrible at marketing.
English is my second language. Okay?
You're the host.
Calm
All the
down.
excuses.
Calm
All the
down. Calm
excuses.
down.
Oh
English
my
is my second
God.
language. You know, I didn't grow up
Whatever.
in Hawaii.
Whatever. From Boston.
Well, I grew up in Connecticut. Okay, that's their story.
Wait, so you're Holly then?
Right, exactly. Even worse. I mean, how did you get that even wrong? Oh my God.
But anyway, so they're across the street from World Resort, next to Peepoys, and next to Zoom.
In between.
I'm
Near
so
Joe
bad.
Tensusupi.
Peepoys?
Peepoys.
We're marketing
Peepoys.
the
It's
restaurant,
Peepoys.
so right
I'm
across
trying to
World
straighten it out.
Resort at
Peepoys,
the
right next to Live
Joten
Shark Bar.
building.
Yes.
First floor. And if you're headed south, it would be on your left side, and if you're headed north, it would be on your right side.
Yes.
Yes.
And they're open.
Do you have a phone number?
Yes, ma'am. Our phone number is 670-234-9595.
So nice and easy to remember.
Yes, ma'am. We are still open for if you have party events. We still have until March. So if you want to book a party, we can open a private party for you.
Okay.
Or if you like open, like
Drink.
for buffet, we can do
Happy hour.
Happy hour we have.
You guys got karaoke too, right?
Yeah, we have karaoke.
What's
If
your corkage?
Ma'am?
Corkage fee.
Oh, the corkage fee is only $10.
Oh,
if you
that's
wanna bring-
cheap.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
And then if you buy 5 buckets of Budweiser or Bud Light, you can get one unlimited fried chicken.
Oh.
Wow.
Wait.
Unlimited
the
fried chicken?
Unlimited.
Yes.
Unlimited.
Wow.
That's
Did you guys
for-
hear that?
KFC can't mess with that.
KFC
Yeah.
cannot beat that.
Yeah.
You can bring three friends with you. Oh, so total 3. 3. And then you share 5 buckets of beer, and then you get unlimited fried chicken.
So it's
Yes.
That is a cool.
So minimum
That's
three.
a cool
Minimum
deal.
3, right?
Minimum 3. Yeah.
Okay.
For 5
It's
buckets.
5 buckets and
I
unlimited
can bring
chicken.
3 friends, or it's me and 2 other people.
Yes,
You and
that
two
like
others.
that.
Yeah.
2 others. So total 3.
3 or more. 3 or more.
3 or more, Brad. 1, 2, 3.
I'm doing the math on the beer. So you figured that's how many buckets? 5 buckets.
25 beers.
So
about
25
7,
beers
8 beers
between
each.
3
That's
people.
normal.
Yeah, that's pretty normal
That's
for
normal.
this.
7 or 8 beers, yeah.
Yeah, that's normal.
And
for
unlimited fried chicken?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, do you take reservations for overnight? Because
do
that's
that.
the best
Even
deal.
if you buy
3
10,
weeks.
10 buckets, Brad,
Yeah,
unlimited
we
doesn't
can
get
do
more
that.
unlimited.
Yes.
I'm thinking about after our soccer game on Friday night.
Yeah.
Like, that could be our whole team goes in
Yeah,
there.
that's
That
the whole
was
team.
so
Yeah.
cool.
That will
Yeah.
be nice. Yes. I
Yeah,
hope
your
so.
whole team gets fried
Man,
chicken.
I won't be here for Friday game.
Yeah.
Just
We could
bring
do
the rice.
Sunday also.
Yeah,
we
Sunday
could
game. Sunday game.
just imagine just that's a great deal.
What, Shy?
Instead of the side of the road? Absolutely.
Oh wait, Shy's got a question.
So before we close, I would like if
So we're
it's
closing.
okay if all of because we don't.
Was that a subtle way of saying we're going home,
We're about to
Travis?
wrap it up.
That sounded like Travis, we're going home.
I would like to recognize a small business or if each of us can recognize a small business and give them an invitation to come on the show.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
So I'm gonna invite Rock Candy.
Rock candy?
Rock Candy.
Okay,
that?
cool.
JL done.
Yep.
Jail
Jail Don
Don to
Sushi.
come on the show.
Bomb sushi, like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. I never heard of them.
And it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one guy. It's not. It's
I
not
know,
big.
but I'm saying
It's-
I think Jay would be great on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
His,
and he could demo some of his food too.
his
sushi is
is
amazing. I heard.
It was made with love. It's
Yeah.
not just rolled together, but it's bomb.
And fish.
Okay.
Okay, Travis.
It's made with love and fish.
What about you, Derek?
So last weekend, we, my family and I, we graced the presence of the grand opening for the Marianas Batting Alley.
Oh,
Yes.
I would love to
Yeah.
see those guys come out.
So May and Kat, they opened up their warehouse right there, right by the
side road.
the Federal Court side road, that dirt road.
the old
it used to be the old
Pacific Trading Warehouse.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So that big warehouse has been renovated since then, and the inside looks amazing. They have like 6 or 7 lanes. They have all kinds of batting gear, and for all the teams, from children up to adults. And my son, the first coin I bought for his cage, he was afraid and didn't know what to expect. Right, man. One time in that cage, he hit at least half his balls, and he was ready to rock for.
Nice.
Maybe broke over there, but it's an awesome spot. Bring your kids out. It's something new on island that I think is great here.
I love that it's family oriented.
Definitely,
these
yeah.
kids, a lot of our kids have
Yep.
been denied fun
Yeah,
for a long
and
time.
baseball's big here, So
Yeah.
they sell
So
snacks and
let's-
drinks, so you
part
can
of
go
our
there and chill out.
pedigree,
We hope
it's
them
who
to come
we
on,
are.
onto the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you, Travis?
I have a million small businesses.
Oh, yeah.
I
I
mean,
was just gonna say the
it's
same
hard
thing.
for me to pick one.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
If you can name one tonight.
right now, the one that I'll do is Pepe's.
Okay.
Pepe's has been part of the Small Business Network. They've hosted for us.
Yeah.
Bong happens to be working on my motorcycle right now. They are
Yeah.
truly, they are everything about small business. They give, they help, they do everything about them. Love Pepe's.
So Bong also owns Armortech. So it's
Yep.
it's a dual family. So the wife wife runs Pep Boys, and the Bong runs Armortech, which is the tech company on island. They do everything from
Electrical,
small like
mechanical.
locks to gates to all kinds of stuff like that. So
I agree with you on that. I
great
agree with
family
you.
business as well.
They're
Yeah.
very, very accommodating.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. And Donna?
Well, I'm like Travis. I can think of a million
Right.
of them. But I have a real heart for people who are just starting, because the startup it's just brutal. And if just surround them with the support. So there's a young man on the island. You're not going to believe this about me, but Paradise Dental is getting a rap song.
Oh,
Wow,
Excuse
no
me.
I don't know what that is.
Yo,
You don't know what it
Yo,
is.
It's gonna be a rap song.
So what?
It's got to have something to do with grills.
Right?
Oh, see, I need you to talk. So anyway, Jordan Paradise.
Yep.
Okay, you ever heard of him?
Yeah.
He is a local, not a local. He lives here, and with his family, and he is starting he's starting a business
Nice.
where he's going around to businesses, and he's working through the SBDC, Mercelin and her gang, right?
Awesome.
And so they came over, I think, just to kind of practice on us, which was quite an honor. And Dr. Crum, who, between the two of us, we wouldn't know a rap song, and we fell over, and he goes, "I want the top package." What? Okay, so then we meet with our marketing team, and of course the other group that I would love to have come over here is Turnkey Solutions. We just love those kids, and we were their very first customer, when built our website. So we have this marketing meeting, and everybody says, "I just don't think that fits your image," and I'm thinking, "Oh yeah, probably not, right?" And so I go back to Dr. Crum and Nelson. I said, I do not call him Dr. Crum at home, just so you know.
Sure you don't.
I'm sure there's no stethoscope and little cosplay.
If you've been through the personality style seminar, and
on Thursday.
the personality style seminar, you guys don't know about, but
Cosplay.
Nelson is a Ruby, and so is Derek here. So Rubies say things in 2 seconds. So I said, Nelson, I'm an Emerald, so I have to tell a long version of every story. I said, they're not really sure that this is a good fit. I'm not sure. And is it going to offend some of the old people? And I said, I'm not sure it's a good fit. And he goes, we'll make it a good fit. That's your job. Right? Oh, yeah, I missed that one. So now we're going to have fun with this. I have no idea where it's going to go.
So we used
but
Jordan
it's a
actually
young-
last year.
He said he's basically wanted at first to help a budding entrepreneur.
Mhm.
He didn't care what he was doing, right? And now we're going to take that and turn it into something fun for
Awesome.
the dental office.
That's
Stay
nice.
tuned.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see that. I want to see.
I have one question. I just Is it okay?
I'm not the
You're on air.
No,
Ask it, girl.
I just have one question for PK. So
Yes.
since PK is the founder of the Marianas Business Network, and it is all for small businesses, and I know in the future, maybe I'm not in the business anymore, how will you tackle if you have, for example, like me, and then there's a lot of restaurants, same thing as me, and there's a lot of bars, same thing as Sir Travis, right? How will you manage to help those small businesses that have the same kind of business? How will you be fair? How will you be fair for them?
So
like that?
as I say this to every single business that's the same, industry, I said, there's business for everybody.
Right.
There's no
Yes.
need for competition, and that's how.
No,
I see it.
competition is actually healthy.
Well, no, I'm
it's
talking-
called competition, right?
I'm just saying there's
in a
business
sense.
for everybody because if you go to small rural areas, there's bars next to each
Yeah.
other,
Yeah.
little towns,
And a bank.
and a
Dental-
bank,
dental
and,
offices.
and there's
So-
like Chinese restaurants after Chinese restaurants, or you name it, right? There's always. I tell this to small businesses, you gotta build your loyalty base. That's what it
Here's
is.
some psychology for you. So you ever notice in the mainland, not here so much obviously, but you ever notice every McDonald's has a Burger King right next to it or across the street,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Every gas station has
Yeah.
3 other gas stations on every corner, right?
Every dental office.
Every business owner that did the psychology understanding of the marketing of side of that understands when you have one McDonald's by itself in the middle of nowhere, your only choice is your choices are McDonald's or no McDonald's.
Right.
That's your
Right.
choices.
Right.
When you see a McDonald's and a Burger King, now you're flooded with the visuals
Right.
and the marketing of McDonald's and Burger King.
Right.
So now your brain says it's either McDonald's or Burger King, not McDonald's or nothing, right? So now the whole reason for them putting them across the street is literally to have more customers. So it's been proven that when they put it across the street, both companies will increase their
Right.
values of,
Right.
of membership
Right.
versus the
Right.
one out in the middle of nowhere.
Right, and also,
So
yeah.
competition is absolutely healthy.
And also, it's that like I said, if you have just say we're saturated with 10 Korean restaurants across the street from Will Resort, right? Just to say the whole Jotin building. Now, if you guys did something that other customers are very loyal to, say your kimchi,
Right.
people will come for your kimchi.
Yes.
People come for a japchae or they come for the
Find your
bulgogi.
niche and market that.
That's how it
That's
is.
your kimchi.
Yes.
And I think that's important because my parents own small business too, and they were in the restaurant business plus amusement machines and all that. But one of the things that we still hear it today is your hamburger steak was the best on island.
Right.
And no
See, right there.
one,
Capitalize
no
on
one
that.
I-
could mimic that
I'm
to
glad
this day.
you asked that question because I know we're running out of time, but I really have something else to share with you.
We have a limited time.
You may need to go, Denzel O'Connell.
I'm going to tell you something you're going to notice because it happens to us all the time in our profession. How many other Korean restaurants
Right.
were at that trade show besides you?
I'm
None.
not
It's
really
called
sure.
zero,
None.
Yeah, 0.
right?
Yep.
There will not be probably any that will join the Marianas Business Network because they don't care as much as you do, or they think
Right.
it happens by osmosis or something.
Yeah.
Right? So I use that example for us is because I'm out there all day, every day, like they're trying to keep all the time. And I never run into my competition anywhere.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
I even had a hissy fit recently saying, do I really need to be doing all this? They're not doing anything.
Well, you're gonna have a rap song soon.
I know.
So you'll be above
Somebody,
board.
I hope Jordan Paradise, if you're watching,
You'll be
please
taking
take that clip
the
and just
edge.
use that.
You're done.
Please use that clip.
After a while you wonder,
Yeah.
why am I working this hard?
Yeah.
Nobody else is.
Right, well,
But that's the key.
yes.
Right.
But kind of in closing too, with your statement, what PK has done and what our group has done, it might not be for everybody.
Yeah.
But you know
Exactly.
what we do know is that the people who are involved with us right now care and are passionate and are helpful and are
Believe
we do
in
we do
this,
this. It's not for us. We do this for every single
Yeah.
one of us because we're all in the same boat and we support each other and we do what we got to do. So after that, we can't worry about
What's
it.
this something about
On
some
that-
rises all boats or something?
Yeah.
On that note, though, we're open to everyone that wants to come and join.
Right.
We're not
we're very open, and collaboration is the key, right? For everything.
Yes.
You'll find out if there is another one on, they'll be buying your kimchi for their restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all works out.
Yeah. And and you might be the wholesaler. You might be white labeling your kimchi to other places. You never know, right?
Yes.
Which
You're
is
going to say, oh, sorry, we're out.
we're out. Yeah. Yeah.
Be here by noon or you're going to miss the
Well,
boat.
Speaking of out, I know we must be getting close to the end because
Right?
I'm out.
It is
I'm out. The tower's out.
Everything's out right now. The only thing
I
left
have
is
wine
wine.
right there, but
You need to bring 2 yards
but,
next
you know,
week,
so
Travis.
In closing, but we will be hosting the SBDC on March 19th at Daejunkum at her restaurant before they close. So I'll be doing a flyer soon, and we're collaborating with their group. So we're more than happy, and I'm glad that they decided to join
I'm gonna
us.
put a shameless plug out SBDC because they were huge in getting Laddie built to where it was.
Yes.
Yeah,
They were
they're a
so
good group.
essential in that whole 7-month process that I talked about getting business license. They really helped work through the business plan and everything, and that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
only
they've only
gotten
just-
so
they-
much
they
better.
only-
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now they're gonna be coming on and doing workshops and
Yeah, it's awesome.
discussing about the programs they have to help small businesses.
And you make sure you meet with them because they help
They can help
startups.
you. Yeah.
That's their thing.
Oh yeah.
Ursuline is fantastic.
Even if you
with
break
that.
off from your current partners and do your own thing, they can work with you to help you do your own.
They'll have ideas you never thought of, yeah.
But yeah, so that's an invitation to all businesses, right? So this is not about the 5 of us.
Not a clique.
It's not about no, not at all.
No.
There's a Korean restaurant. There's like 40 on island probably, right? There's 3 gyms now. Everyone, please, bars,
17
dental license,
bars.
17 bars. How many dental offices we have? 5 or
Many.
6?
7.
Yeah.
Plus the hospital.
But that, we're not trying to
Exactly.
monopolize our industry. The whole point is we're an island community trying to get through this together. We need the local population, the customers to work with us because we are there for them and they are there for us. And all those businesses that are our competitors are also in the same boat. So if we have to all work together, yeah.
We're not all the same personality wise. You're not all the same about where we are in regards to our level of business, but we all do care. And
But
that's
everyone has
very important.
ideas, and that can actually,
Yeah, and the
that can
problem,
help
you have
us
somebody in the group
all
solved it last
progress.
month, so you don't want to miss that knowledge.
Right.
To shorten your learning curve.
You're right.
You'll be okay.
You'll be okay.
Yeah.
And,
if you need, anyone on this panel, right, to help you navigate through this process, and you need someone to maybe mentor you, and there's a lot of people that can do that, and the PK, she doesn't work, so she's got a lot of time.
Another zinger. Oh my God, I'm getting clowned on left and right tonight.
She can give
Hey,
you. I mean,
she's trying to figure out
I
how to
have
close
a
the
bunch
show.
of resources.
Right?
And cut.
Anyways,
Thank you.
I want to say thank you
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on the
much.
show.
Thank you very much.
I want to say thank you
Thank
for
you, Marissa, for
Yeah.
joining
Thank you
us.
cut so I can
guys.
eat,
Thank you
please.
guys.
Yes.
Thank you guys. for
I
having
wanna
me. This
say-
was fun.
Yes, and thank you to Shai, who is facilitating the background producer, and to Brad, who this not would be possible without
A cell phone just going like this, and
By the way, Brad, I think it just got signed. There's no tax on overtime anymore. So
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And Brad,
I got the perfect solution for you guys, by the way.
what's the perfect solution?
You want to go to Marianas Batting Alley, but you don't want to do it if you're not strong. So you want to go to Laddie Belt to go and get worked out. And if by some chance you're not paying attention, you get hit in the face, you can get your teeth taken care of over at Paradise Dental. And that stuff's going to hurt, so you want to go over to Last Shot Bar. And then even if you don't have any teeth left, you can make your way over to Daejunkum because they have vegetarian meals right there where you don't have to chew on anything. And if you're really upset and you need to change the law, you got Marissa right here.
That's right. What else do you need?
By the way, everybody, I'm a recruiter, by the way. You guys don't know what I do for work.
Well, PK always has to have the last word, so let's just plug right now.
Anyway, so I want to make a toast to everybody. This was a fabulous season. Still season 1, episode 2.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you, Sip
Sad
Happens.
cheers.
Thank you,
Sip
guys.
happens. Yay.
cheers. And cut.
Is that it? Are you guys
That's
done?
That's it? Are we out?
I think so.
Hey, thanks for tuning in for everybody. We'll be back next month. We don't know the date, but we know that we are going to have a lot of food and a lot of
We know we're
drinks.
going to have margaritas, so we know we're going to have chips.
Some more kimchi.
Yeah.